Hello, everybody. Aiden Rigg here with Marketing Freak Tactics. And today we're going to talk about strategy, exactly what it is and how it can help you grow your business. You're not going to want to miss this episode. All right, so welcome. So this episode, we're going to talk about what is strategy. And this was really something that really took me a long time to get. I started off, as you know, as guy had dropped out of school, got a job selling different things from vacuums to building log houses to washing dishes to what have you. And I finally got a job into sales. And was a sales guy and am still a sales guy, but over the last many years have really tried to focus on enhancing my skills. Went back to school, went to business school, have got 3 years sales and marketing program, and became a business person. And in my pursuit of becoming a business person, to learn things differently, to look at the world from a business perspective instead of just from a sales guy's perspective. It was really impactful for me. But one of the main things that was impactful for me, one of the things that really helped me understand business was understanding and coming to the terms, recognizing what strategy was and how it played into business and how it played into growing your business. So let's just take a look at this. What is strategy? Well, I like to go to the father of strategy, Michael Porter, and he created, Competitive Advantage in the 80s, and it really helped businesses really transform and saw the explosion as many of the organizations took the concepts and put them into play, and businesses exploded. Business like GE as an example, and others. So the essence of strategy and competitive advantage lies in the activities, in choosing to perform activities differently or to perform different activities from those of rivals. So that's from Michael Porter, who really kind of set the stage and created the term competitive advantage and kind of put everyone in the direction and seeing businesses a little differently. Now, one of the things I really want to focus on here is from a marketing standpoint. Marketing is the external strategy of an organization. Marketing is, the demand side of the business, and it's of the value proposition of an organization, and the value proposition is the demand side of the business. So, marketing is strategy. Marketing is the external strategy of an organization, and it's pretty much that simple. And then all the activities to create demand and roles fit into the marketing aspect of the organization. So sales is a piece of marketing. And so this is really woke me up and helped me understand how important strategy was to the equation. So the essence of strategy and competitive advantage lies in the activities, okay? So, and in choosing to perform activities differently or to perform different activities from those of rivals. And that's really what it comes down to, right? Strategy is a set of activities. And when we choose the right activities, when we choose activities that are different than our competitors, then we start to create a competitive advantage. So I really like to kind of always think of Steve Jobs when he came back for his second term at Apple, right? He came back, obviously something woke him up while he was gone and went on to Pixar, whatever he did. All right. Obviously, he came back and he recognized that he was probably, from my analysis of it, looked at it and says he was in a game with Microsoft, and that Microsoft, even though he thought didn't have the better programming, didn't have the better computers, thought that Microsoft was inferior to Apple. Microsoft was winning, and he was playing their game. So he comes back and he changes the activities of Apple. He got rid of a whole bunch of things of what not to do and focused on a few things and really helped change the world. I mean, frankly, with the iPhone and things like that, they chose a different strategy, and they came to dominate because they chose different activities than their rivals. And that's what the strategy is. And that's what's important about strategy. And strategy is a set of activities on the value proposition side of the business. So we spoke last week about the value creation process. On one side is the value proposition or the demand side, and on the other side is the value chain, which is the supply side. So we're talking today about the value proposition or the demand side or the value chain. So when we're talking about the value proposition, we're talking about the activities or the strategy that creates demand for your product or service. But when we're talking about a strategy, it's important to recognize, what is a strategy? A strategy is a set of activities. So you might ask yourself, okay, so if I'm going to create these strategies, how am I going to create a competitive advantage, right? Because that's what it needs to lead to. And can't my competitors copy me, or can't I just copy exactly what my competitors do? And the answer is yes, you can copy them. But you can't copy them 100%, right? You can copy them close, but you're not them. They're not you. So there's no way you could do it exactly like they did. It's impossible. But you can come close. So if you are going to be in a weight loss challenge against another person, right? You have a strategy to lose weight. They have a strategy to lose weight. Then you put your activities into play to lose that weight. They put their activities into play to lose that weight. And so you're both going for a goal to lose as much weight as possible. You both are going to do activities to help you lose that weight. The question is whose activities are going to be better? And that's the beauty of the business. That's the beauty of strategy, is that you put your ideas together, your activities, and you do them. And your competitor does theirs and they do theirs, and somebody wins. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't win either. If if they choose to go down a different road, they can win as well. But if you're both, there can only be one winner in the Stanley Cup. There can only be one Super Bowl champion, right? And so they all have a strategy to win the Super Bowl. They have the activities they do. Obviously, they play the game, but then all the activities inside of that, from practicing and plays, and are they going to be a running team or a throwing team, or these are all the activities, and someone creates a differentiation and wins from the competitors. But can they copy you? Yes, they can, but they can't copy you exactly, right? And that's where this comes in. This was really when I learned this from Michael Porter many years ago. It was really an awakening for me, because I recognized that, I can just copy what they do, or they can just copy what I do. And the answer is yes, they can, but only with 90% probability. Okay, so 90% sounds pretty damn good, right? Oh, a 90% probability that I could do exactly what they do and get their activities, or I could mirror them. I could reverse engineer it. Yes, you can, but you can't be exact. So you can do it with one particular activities and get 90%. But as you add more activities, you reduce the probability that anyone can copy you. So let's go back to the weight analysis. I have a competition with my rival, right? We're both going to have a weight loss challenge. I choose mine, he chooses his. Okay, so whatever. One's going to be low carbs, one's going to be this, whatever, right? That's the strategy. Now, the activities are what you do every day, what you eat, when you eat, how much exercise you do, how much weight training you do, the amount of nutrition, the amount of vitamins, all these different things play into whether or not you're going to be successful and whether or not you're going to win. So you set your own activities to go do what you're going to do, and they do theirs. But if they do want to copy you, they can, right? They can sit back and say, oh, Aiden gets up at 6 a.m. I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. Oh, he goes for a mile run. I'm going to go for a mile run. Oh, he eats just vegetables. I'm going to eat, right? That can happen. You can do that. The problem is that they're not you, right? They can't they're going to eat vegetables. Well, how much vegetables, right? And how slowly do you eat compared to them? And there's all these different things. They can't copy you 100%, but they can come close. They can come to 90%. So 0.9, right? And as you add another activity, so you get up in the morning, they can copy you. You put on your shoes, they can copy you. You go for a run, they can copy you. But they can only copy you to 0.9 probability, to 90% probability. And with every activity you do, the probability goes down. So 90%, then two activities is 0.9 times 0.9. Now it's 81% probability they can copy you. And you go all the way down, and I kind of feel the sweet spot is about 5 or 6 activities. You can do 5 activities very well, do them differently, do them so they're leading towards what you believe is going to take you to where you want to go. And your competitors can try to copy you. But even if they do, the best they're going to do is a 90% probability on each of the activities. And 0.9 times 0.9 times 0.9 times 0.9 times 0.9 leads them to only a 54% probability of copying you. And so as you add more activities, the probability goes down. But you don't want to take on too many activities. So pick 5, and that are the marketing activities, right? The activities you're going to do to create demand. And there's lots of different options out there. And the ones that picks the best activities wins. So in business, maybe you choose to go with a digital marketing strategy, 100%. And your competitor says, no digital marketing for me. I'm going to invest heavily in my salespeople. Okay, who's going to win? Well, a lot depends, right? What industry you're in, what kind of sales training your salespeople have, what kind of digital marketing you have. But you're doing different activities. Then even if you invested in your salespeople and they invested in their salespeople, and you're both, well, okay, what salespeople do? How do you hire, right? No one can copy you 100%. So recognize that you want to pick about 5 activities that are on the demand side to create demand for the business. And how do you know you're creating a strategy to win? Well, it leads to a competitive advantage, right? And this is what I learned from Michael Porter so many years ago now. Was that the competitive advantage is measured in profitability. So if we look at the janitorial supply industry as an example, one of the industries I really focus and work with is if you take a janitorial distributor with chemicals, I believe the average gross profit is 32%. So that's the industry average. So if I'm at 32%, if I go, yeah, we make 32%, and the industry average says you're 32%, then we are industry average. If we make less than 32%, then we're doing something wrong because we're not making as much profit as the industry average. However, if I'm making 33%, 34, 35, if I'm making higher than 32, then I want to look at my strategy and the activities I'm doing because I have a competitive advantage. I'm making more profit than my competitors. And so this is how you kind of gauge the measuring stick as to whether or not you're winning or you're on the right track. So if you look at the different outcomes, the industry average, say, you know what, geez, the average has 6 salespeople. We have 8. The industry average is 32% profit on this SKU, on this category, and 18% in that category, and you're lower everywhere. You got lower profitability. You got more salespeople, and that you got to sit back and go, whoa. How do we do it differently so that we can become more profitable on the industry average, so that we can make more margin, and that's reflected on the P&L statement, the income statement, and then we sit back and say, okay, the strategy we have is the activities, and it's leading to a competitive advantage. So this is kind of the map. This is kind of how to gauge whether or not what you're doing is working. Absolutely, there's other variables involved. It's not all about the profits, but it's a great indicator because you need to be profitable in order to have long-term success, right? Profit is not a dirty word. It's just how you go about making that profit, whether or not you do it in a dirty way. So this is really, really was big for me to get. And I hope that you can see that marketing is the demand side of strategy. It's the demand side of business. And the activities you do are going to lead to a competitive advantage, which is reflective in higher profitability than your competitors. So that's why the book Blue Ocean Strategy really talks about the difference between a red ocean, playing in the same game everybody else does, and choosing something different, right? Choosing a different path, a different ocean, a different view, a different road, a different set of activities, a different strategy, because the competition's less, it's easier to get traction, it's easier to create value for you, your investors, your employees, and ultimately your customers. Hope you found this of value. We do this show every Thursday, Marketing Freak Tactics, every Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific. Personal reasons, I had to do it today a little earlier. I'm Aiden Rigg, and I hope you found this of value. I will see you next week.